Hey, my beautifuls. We are back with another video to the series of my spiritual journey. And I had to light some incense. We go to rocket. And I'm here testing out. The video soon come out, but I'm here testing out these beautiful Rose Obsession sets. This one is Apple Rose, so I'm gonna quickly put that on, y'all, and it smells amazing. Oh my god, I just love these. So this is a lip tint, and this is the glow set I'm using. Yep, we did their thing. So check them out. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Anyways, let's get into the story, right? Let me just check myself real quick. You know, we're on a spiritual journey, but that don't mean I have to look cray-cray, okay? We look like gods and goddesses, even when presenting, speaking, anywhere. So this happened, this story I'm going to talk about is, we're going to talk about fairies, elves. This is what we're going to talk about today because they're real. I'm going to say it again. Can I do that? They're real. They're real. They're real. All right. So I'm going to share you an experience I had. And my daughter was with me and she experienced, so we both experienced together. It's always great when you have a witness with you when you're going through these spiritual experiences, and I just love it. So this is when we traveled. I'm gonna tell you, I traveled a lot. When I was younger, I traveled a lot. So we had been living in the South, and you know, in the South, there's so many trees, forests, lots of land, and everything. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. I love being around trees, nature, the beach. I enjoy that. So one day, let's see, I forgot when this was. I want to say like in the springtime. It feels like it was around in the springtime, and it was in the evening. So I had just cooked dinner. I had washed up in the kitchen, put away the dishes and everything. My daughter was in the living room, so the floor plan was very open. So the kitchen, and I can see into the living room. And she was like up close at the TV watching her cartoons. And I remember like the kitchen counter on this side. So it's like I had like an L shape, and then I was at the base of the L part, right? And I'm just standing there, and I'm watching her show with her. And then in the living room to the far right is a fireplace, okay? And I would light this fireplace all the time. We use it to cook, use it to burn, use it to do a lot of different things, a lot of magical work as well. And I was starting to really get into that, into my learning a lot about spirituality, about occultism and stuff like that. I was really on that journey, and I was really doing a lot of art as well at the time. Anyway, so it's just me and her this evening, and as we're watching TV, and I've spoken on this story a few times in different classes I've taught. I saw something from the right side, like the corner of my eye, the right corner of my eye, like hopped, and I was like, so this fairy looking being looks like he was pitched on that fireplace watching us for a while, right? And this time he wanted to make himself known. And I was like, what, Tagwan? And I was just so in shock, but at the same time, I'm excited. And I don't want to mess anything. I want to scare shit out of it. But it was sitting on the ledge of the fireplace, like at the top. I don't know what that's called, but the top ledge of the fireplace. And I think he was watching TV too. And then, because you can hear, I heard, even if I'm in the corner of my eye, I heard like the pop, like that drop, like that. And so hop down onto because the fireplace is made out of bricks, right? So at the base of the fireplace, and then hop down, and I see it do that. It's in its Merkaba. I was like, yo, I'm seeing this. This little thing, I think it was like because it would fly at the same time it's running. I don't know, but tiny little thing. And I'm positioning myself because his hands was like this, running in the Merkaba, in his little, and the Merkaba is spinning. I'm like, yes, I know that shit exists. I know, but to see it spinning as he's moving, and this little thing is that's across. And so my daughter was a lot closer to where it was, and so she's cross-legged in front. I said, Dimini, look at the fairy. And she's watching, and we're both in awe. I said, don't move. And so she's sitting there curious. She's so tiny, curious, watching, and it's like coming back, and came back past her feet, and you can see like it hovered a bit, like up, and crossed over and went across her. She got a closer, like now she doesn't really remember so much, but crossed her feet and then disappeared into the wall on the left side. And I was like, oh my God, Emily, we just saw a fairy. I want to say like a little elf, but it had little wings as well. So I don't know if it was crossbreed or whatever, but fairy, elf, because he had a little pointy hat as well, little shoes on, had a little wing, but his hands going like this, his feet going like this. And in the Merkaba, and the Merkaba was a fluid, like a white, like clear white, spinning around. And I was just like confirmation, like this stuff, you studied it in mystery school, you know what this is, but to see it live in front of you, and you're not alone. And I was just like, this little thing wanted to make himself known, and that he was watching. And I mean, I'm all about entrances and stuff. Fireplaces are entrances for other dimensions, for other worlds. If you don't know that, here's the drop of the dime. And so I understood that the fireplace is a portal, and to see it come through and showed himself, I was in so much awe. I was excited. I was happy. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe. And I shared it. She told her friends, like our neighbors' kids, and it was just thrilling, and they wanted to go see if they can find one themselves. I was just like, oh my God, they exist. They're here. And I was just like, I just said thank you. Like, if he heard me or whatever, I said thank you so much for appearing. Thank you so much for showing yourself and confirming who you are. Because little things were missing in the house. Like, I'll put my silver rings down at the kitchen sink when I'm washing, and sometimes I forget. It'll disappear, but then it'll return. If I put down some silver coins somewhere, disappear, then it'll return. So if you got questions, let me know, y'all. But that was one of my experiences, and had to share it with you. When you're on this journey and you're open, things open up. So don't be closed minded because we are seriously not alone. All right, we're on to the next one.